Never mind. Assistant Head of Senior School, Mr. Manson. Staff and students, welcome. To my fellow leavers, well. Here we are, the home stretch, the final countdown, the last hurrah, to list a few of the many mind-numbing cliches you'll struggle to avoid over the coming weeks. To the younger boys, I remember vividly sitting where you sit now, 4 years ago, often half asleep, enduring through what felt like an everlasting onslaught of keynote addresses, remembering the message of one speech for a week before it was swiftly replaced by yet another. Unfortunately for you, I'm here to hit you with another. But I understand all too well how these go, so I'll try my best to keep my message concise, hopefully engaging, and on the off chance it sticks with one of you, maybe insightful. As I expect mine will be treated no differently than its predecessors, but that's kind of the point. We, as human beings, are always looking ahead, often at the expense of truly soaking up what is going on around us. I found myself, late in term 3, gearing up for my final term of schooling, thinking about what my future will hold, both immediately and in the long term. Worrying about exams, uni applications, where I'll be next year, what I'll be doing, where Port Adelaide will finish on the ladder, just standard stuff. Sitting there at home, reflecting on my 13 years at Hutchins, I realised something. I must have wasted a staggering amount of glue sticks over my tenure. Like seriously, who needs 8 glue sticks? Anyways, after I did my best to estimate the ridiculous number of glue sticks I've churned through over my time here, I finally got back on track and arrived at the point, much like I'm doing now. I digress. What I actually realised, sitting there in the sun, was that just how much I've done during my time at Hutchins, but yet how much of the time I spent with my gaze firmly set to the future. Or, if you're like me, focusing on pointless estimations to avoid doing whatever it was I should have been doing. But how can this be? I've been at this school a long time. I've made so many memories, mates, and experiences that I will cherish and remember forever. So, why did I spend so much of this precious time planning and thinking about what's ahead, with little consideration for enjoying the amazing things actually going on around me every day? And just to clarify, before I receive a scathing email from Mrs. Farmer on the importance of essay planning, I'm not here to tell you there is no place for planning. Just that we, as humans, have a tendency to always be focusing on what's coming up. For us, it might be our next test, our next sporting event, our next drama performance, the next time we'll hang out with our mates and so forth. But, to hit you with yet another cliche, life is short. It really is. In the grand scale of the universe, our lives appear very insignificant. How can what we do and what we experience really matter if our lifespan is so infinitesimally small when compared to that of the universe? The great Carl Sagan, one of my personal heroes, grappled with this very dilemma, and in doing so, delivered a talk that truly changed how I view every aspect of my life. And I'd like to share his message with you today. The crux of Sagan's talk was that whilst the earth and our lives are, to quote, a small stage in a vast cosmic arena, this doesn't make them any less important or significant. In fact, it makes them more so. To me, nothing underscores the importance of being present in the moment and dealing kindly with one another than the truly fleeting nature of our lives and experiences. As I've mentioned, I get sidetracked easily. I am, as Mr. Manson would say, a master procrastinator. I've found it very hard at times to live in the moment, always focusing on what I'm doing on the weekend or what life will be like next year. One defining experience that helped me realise the importance of remaining present came in grade 9 during my Central Australia Power of 9 challenge. Prior to departing for the heart of the nation, I was personally most excited about visiting and viewing Uluru, an iconic Australian location. Who wouldn't be excited about that? Unfortunately for my impatient self, this was planned for the second week of the trip, with the first week spent in Alice Springs at a local school called Yiparinya. When myself and my fellow peers arrived at Yiparinya, our home for the first week of the challenge, I found myself spending a lot of time thinking ahead to the second week to seeing Uluru. But Mr. McAloon, one of the supervising teachers of the trip, helped me realise I was truly missing out on the point of the experience. The trip wasn't about visiting an iconic landmark. It was about meeting people, experiencing a new way of life, and making connections with the local kids. All experiences that no other regular visitor would ever have the privilege to enjoy. Needless to say, after this mindset shift, I now look back at this time and the experiences I shared with my schoolmates and new Yipparinya mates as the fondest memories of that trip, not walking around an oversized rock. As life is not about where you end up, but how you get there, what you experience along the way, and who you share it with. Because I was so focused on looking ahead, my tunnel vision almost caused me to miss what I now consider one of my most precious schooling memories. Thankfully, with the help of Mr. McAloon, I was able to avoid this and remain present in the moment. If you spend your whole life looking one step ahead, you'll never enjoy the steps along the way. So, I implore you all, the next time you find your mind wandering unhelpfully towards the future or anywhere from the present, whether that be planning a financially sketchy trip to Europe or hypothesizing on the status of glue sticks, whatever floats your boat, take yourself back to the moment. Have a look around you. Really take in life, all its smells, sights, and noise. Because before you know it, you'll be looking back, wishing you had spent more time living and less time worrying about the future. Wherever you find yourself in life, be all there. Don't be 3 weeks ahead. There is beauty in our seemingly ordinary lives, and in retrospect, you'll find your fondest memories will often be the little things, the everyday things, the hanging out with mates at lunch, chats with your favourite teachers. So, to my fellow leavers, don't waste these final months of school. Like Will said, they will fly by. It's a truly special time. So don't spend them worrying about the future. Enjoy the moments before they pass you by. I'd like to finish with a quote from the great Andy Bernard from my favourite show, The Office, that I think perfectly sums up the message I want to leave with you all. I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you actually leave them. Stay present. Thank you.